Life isn't always sunshine and calm seas. Sometimes it hits you hard. Unexpected storms, heartbreak, failure, and moments when it feels impossible to smile. But happiness isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you decide to respond to it. You can't always control life, but you can control your state. And when you learn to stay happy, even when life is hard, you unlock a power that no challenge can take from you. Happiness isn't something you stumble upon when everything finally goes right. It's something you decide to create, even when everything seems wrong. The truth is, life will never stop testing you. There will always be days when you wake up tired, uncertain, or overwhelmed. But your power lies in one thing: where you place your focus. The direction of your focus determines the direction of your feelings. If you constantly dwell on what's missing, what's broken, or what you can't control, you feed the emotions that drain you. But the moment you shift your focus, everything changes. Think about it. There are people who have so little yet walk around smiling, full of life, full of gratitude. And there are others who have everything, yet they're miserable. What's the difference? It's not their circumstances, it's their focus. The human mind is wired to find what's wrong because it's built to protect us. But if you want to feel joy in a world full of chaos, you must train your mind to look for what's right. You must discipline yourself to notice the small wins, the small blessings, the moments of grace that exist even in the middle of pain. When life feels heavy, you can either surrender to the storm or decide to dance in the rain. That decision starts with your focus. Every emotion you feel, anger, sadness, joy, excitement, comes from the meaning you attach to what's happening. And meaning is a choice. If you lose your job and say, "My life is over," you'll feel despair. If you say, "This is my chance to build something better," you'll feel empowered. The situation didn't change, but your focus did. You cannot control life, but you can control how you interpret it. That is real freedom. You've got to become the master of your internal world. You can't wait for circumstances to make you happy. You must create happiness from within. It starts with awareness. The next time you catch yourself focusing on what's missing, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can appreciate right now? What's one thing I can learn from this moment? It might be small, but gratitude is like oxygen for your soul. It fills you with life, even when the world feels suffocating. There will always be pain, but suffering is optional. Suffering happens when you focus on something you can't control for too long. It's like pressing on a wound over and over. It only keeps the pain alive. Instead, focus on what's within your reach. Maybe you can't change what happened, but you can change how you show up. You can change your energy, your words, your actions. And once you do, your reality starts to shift with you. Think about those moments when you felt unstoppable, when nothing could break you. What were you focusing on? You were locked in on your goals, your passion, your purpose. You weren't thinking about fear or failure. You were living from possibility. That state is still inside you. It never left. You just have to wake it up again. Life is not about avoiding pain. It's about mastering meaning. Every challenge you face can either destroy your spirit or develop your strength. It depends on your focus. When you choose to focus on what empowers you instead of what limits you, happiness becomes a byproduct of that mindset. It's not something you chase, it's something you generate. So, the next time life gets hard, remember what you focus on, you feel. If you look for reasons to feel hopeless, you'll find them. But if you look for reasons to rise, they'll appear too. You can choose to see every obstacle as the end or as a beginning. You can focus on the loss or on the lesson. The world responds to the energy you project, and your focus is the fuel behind that energy. Don't wait for the storm to pass before you decide to smile. Smile through it. Stand tall in the rain and say to yourself, "I control how I feel." Because once you master your focus, you master your emotions. And once you master your emotions, no hardship, no setback, no chaos can take your happiness away. You become unshakable, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Every person who has ever grown into their best self has walked through pain. Not once, but many times. Pain is life's greatest equalizer. It visits everyone. It doesn't care about your background, your success, or your dreams. It's the silent sculptor that carves out your strength. But here's the truth: most people never understand pain itself is not the problem. The real problem is how we interpret it. The way we respond to it determines whether it becomes our prison or our power. When you're hurt, it's natural to want to avoid it, numb it, or pretend it's not there. But pain doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It waits. And when you finally face it, you realize something powerful inside that pain is purpose. It's trying to teach you something. It's trying to show you a version of yourself that you've never met before. The stronger, wiser, more grounded version of you that only hardship can bring out. Every setback carries a lesson. Every heartbreak a message. Every failure an opportunity for transformation. But you can't receive the gift unless you're willing to look deeper than the surface. When life knocks you down, most people ask, why is this happening to me? But that question leads to suffering. It keeps you stuck in victimhood, searching for reasons instead of results. The shift happens when you ask, what is this trying to teach me? That single change in language turns chaos into clarity. Suddenly, pain stops being punishment. It becomes your personal trainer. Every repetition of struggle builds emotional muscle. Every disappointment trains your resilience. Every fall teaches you how to rise faster. You can either let pain harden you or awaken you. Some people let it close their heart. They stop trusting, stop believing, stop trying. But others use it as fuel. They take the broken pieces of their story and turn them into the foundation for something greater. They stop asking, why me? And start declaring, try me. They understand that growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the moments when you want to quit, but choose not to. The fire that burns you today is the same fire that forges your future. Look back at the most difficult moments of your life. The ones that broke you, that made you cry, that made you question everything. Didn't they also shape who you are right now? Didn't they give you strength, empathy, courage? You see, pain refines you. It strips away ego and distraction and brings you face to face with what truly matters. It doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to remind you of the depth of your own power. But you have to use it. You can't stay stuck in the story of pain. You must rise into the lesson of it. Maybe you were betrayed. Now you understand trust and boundaries more deeply. Maybe you failed. Now you've learned persistence and creativity. Maybe you lost someone. Now you appreciate every moment of connection more intensely. Pain always leaves behind a gift, but you only find it if you choose to look for it. Happiness, then, is not the absence of pain. It's the ability to find purpose within it. When you connect your struggle to something meaningful, growth, service, love, you stop running from it. You start using it. You begin to see that every difficult experience was preparing you for something greater. The heartbreak made you more compassionate. The failure gave you direction. The rejection pushed you toward your real path. Nothing is wasted when you see through the lens of purpose. Every time you take your pain and turn it into strength, you reclaim your power. You become unstoppable because nothing outside of you can define you anymore. Life can hit hard, but you know how to hit back with perspective, with gratitude, with unshakable determination. You begin to understand that your wounds aren't signs of weakness. They're proof that you were strong enough to endure. So when life feels unbearable, don't curse the struggle. Lean into it. Feel it. Learn from it. Ask yourself what it's shaping inside you. Let it refine your character, deepen your empathy, and sharpen your vision. Because pain is not the end of your happiness. It's the doorway to a new, more powerful version of it. When you stop fearing pain and start transforming it, you stop surviving and start truly living. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start seeing yourself as the architect of your destiny. And in that moment, happiness stops being fragile. It becomes unbreakable. Happiness doesn't grow in isolation. It's built and sustained through the energy you surround yourself with every day. Life gets hard for everyone, but the difference between those who stay positive and those who fall apart often comes down to one thing: environment. Your environment is more than the space you live in. It's the people you talk to, the habits you practice, the thoughts you entertain, and the emotions you feed. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, and drama, it's like trying to breathe in a room without oxygen. But when you intentionally surround yourself with people and energy that uplift you, everything changes. Every day you absorb energy from your surroundings like a sponge. Conversation, social media, even your own self-talk. These all shape the way you feel. That's why it's crucial to protect your mental space. You have to become selective about what and who you allow into your world. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people drain it, others recharge it. Pay attention to how you feel after being around someone, lighter or heavier, inspired or exhausted. The answer will tell you everything you need to know. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's necessary for survival. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't stay happy when your mind is constantly being filled with noise that tears you down. But it's not just about people, it's also about your daily rituals. The small things you do consistently become the foundation of your emotional state. Movement, gratitude, meditation, journaling, prayer. These are not just feel-good habits. They're fuel for your happiness. When life feels heavy, these practices remind you of who you are. They reconnect you to your inner strength when the world tries to pull you apart. Even something as simple as a 5-minute morning routine can shift your energy for the entire day. Move your body, breathe deeply, say something empowering to yourself. Happiness is not found in big, grand moments. It's created in small, deliberate actions repeated over time. You also need to be conscious of the information you feed your mind. What you read, watch, and listen to shapes your mindset. If you constantly consume negativity, news, gossip, fear, you start to believe that the world is dark and hopeless. But if you feed your mind inspiration, growth, and learning, your thoughts begin to expand. You start to see possibilities instead of problems. Your focus shifts from what's wrong to what's possible. Every word you hear or speak is programming your mind for either joy or misery. Choose wisely. It's also important to remember that happiness is not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about choosing to hold on to hope even when things feel uncertain. The people who stay happy in hard times are not blind to their struggles. They simply refuse to let those struggles define their energy. They surround themselves with those who remind them of their strength, who bring laughter, who help them see light in the darkest times. They create an inner circle that acts like a mirror, reflecting back their best self when they forget who they are. If you want to remain happy through life's storms, build an environment that nurtures your spirit. Start by letting go of toxic connections, the ones that keep you small, bitter, or afraid. It's okay to outgrow people who don't align with your peace. Replace that space with those who inspire you, challenge you, and celebrate your growth. Seek out energy that feels like sunlight, warm, consistent, alive. You'll know it when you feel it. At the same time, be that source of energy for others. The fastest way to lift yourself up is to lift someone else. Encourage, support, and love freely. When you become a light in someone's life, your own world becomes brighter. Happiness multiplies when shared. It's a ripple that always returns to its source. And remember, when life feels chaotic, your peace becomes your power. Take time for silence, reflection, and stillness. Happiness doesn't always mean loud laughter or constant excitement. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's the calm in your chest that whispers, "I'm okay, even now." That kind of happiness doesn't depend on the world. It's born within you, nourished by the energy you choose to keep. So, protect your circle. Build habits that fuel you. Feed your mind what it needs to grow. Happiness is not something that happens by chance. It's the result of intention. When you create an environment of love, growth, and positivity, you give yourself permission to thrive even when life gets tough. And that's the kind of happiness that no storm can ever take away.